Okay, see you again everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the first video sessions. So now let's move on to the second video of your class, and in this video you are going to study the Writing Tutor 2A, and the unit that you are going to study is the unit 3, and the title is Extraordinary Phenomena. Let me remind you that in the book, the writing form that you are going to learn along the way is the narrative paragraph. So can you tell me what is narrative paragraph, everyone? Um, what is narrative paragraph? So narrative paragraph refer to a type of paragraph that you tell the reader your story, okay? And the lesson that you are going to study here is on page 65, which is about the narrative paragraph. As you know, everyone, um, there are some steps regarding to your writing. To start your writing, what you need to do is to start the outline, okay? And when you have the outline, you start to draft your informations. And the last step of your writing activity is to revising and proofreading activities in order to make sure that your paragraph is correct, in order to make sure that you write the right informations. So to revise your paragraph and to proofreading your writing, there are some of the checklists to do when you check your writing again. So what should you look for when you revise your writing? So the first one, you need to ask yourself, does each sentence have a verb? Mostly some students are missing out the verb in the sentence. So make sure you do the double checks in order to make sure that in each sentence you have the correct verb. The second one is, does each verb agree with its subjects? Um, when you have the subject and verb, you need to make sure that the subject and the verb is consistent. For example, let's say you use a plural subject, make sure your verb is in a plural form. But in the narrative paragraph, it is not a big problem because your writing is supposed to be in the past tense, because you are talking and describing the past situations. You talk about your story, so make sure the verb that you use are in the correct verb form. If it is a past simple, make sure you need to use it in the correct past simple form, okay? And the third one, make sure you check all your letter, all your word, are they in the right capitalizations? Are you use the right punctuations? Make sure you end your sentence with a proper punctuation based on the type of your sentence. Let's say if you ask the questions, what punctuation that you should use? If you ask a questions, the punctuation that you need to use must be a question mark, right? So when to use capitalizations, when to use a capital letter at the first, it is the first letter of your sentence. It is you need to capitalize the name of the people or the place. Okay, make sure you double check this point. Last but not least, when you revise your paragraph, make sure to check the word. Okay, so as I presents to you from the previous video, spelling is important. Your teacher can deduct your score if you misspell a lot of words. So spelling the word correctly, but we are humans, we are not perfect, so the mistake can occur. So to eliminate and to avoid those mistakes, you need to double check. That is why the last stage of your writing is to proofread your writing and revise your paragraph. Okay, so everyone, that's the tip for you to use in order to revise your paragraph. Now let's move on to the writing form reviews. As you know, in the book you study the paragraph writing, and we focus on the narrative paragraph. So the general idea of narrative paragraph, they give you the story. When you write a narrative paragraph, you tell the story to your readers. And here are more informations about the narrative paragraph. So the first one, a narrative paragraph, it talk about a personal story of the writer. So the writer tell his or her own story. The second one, we talk about the events in the writer life, and we also see that in the narrative paragraph we will talk about how the writer feel at that times. Okay, so what is included in the narrative paragraph? Right, in the narrative paragraph you will expect to see the detailed informations about the writer. The writer will tell you who involved in the events, in the situation, when it happened, where that situations happen, what are the reasons of any activity, so on and so forth. So here are the detailed information that you will get from the narrative paragraph. When you write your own narrative paragraph, make sure you include these informations, okay? And remember, narrative paragraph, they used to tell a story. So mostly the story, it happened in the past. So use the past tense. Okay. Very good. So what are some of the topics that you can use to write about your own experience, which is the narrative paragraph? So here are some of the topics. Let's say you can write about your favorite holidays. You can write about your best friends. You can write one of your happiest vacations. You can write about your biggest mistakes that you have ever made, the best or the most embarrassing moment in your life. So these are the topics that you can write in a form of narrative paragraph. And again, what detail should you include in writing this topic? The first one is who. Okay, one here. So the first one is who, when the situation happened, where it happens, and what are the reasons. So these are the important concept of the narrative paragraph. And again, let me remind you that there are 3 steps in writing a paragraph. It doesn't matter whether it is a narrative paragraph, it is a descriptive paragraph, it is a comparative paragraph. There are always 3 main steps for you to write. First, start with the outline, a simple outline. Second, you need to start your writing, which is called a draft. It is not supposed to be perfect. And when you have the first draft, the second draft, or the third draft, you need to write a final paragraph. In that final paragraph, you reach the third step, which is the proofreading and revising. So everyone, I hope you get a lot of idea regarding to the writing structure and the writing skill. And that's it for the video lessons today. And if you have any questions regarding to what you have seen in this video, feel free to ask your homeroom teachers in your online study group, because we are always there to help you. Now everyone, it's time to say goodbye and enjoy your weekends. So see you again on Monday. Okay, goodbye.